It's been a while since we've done a video on the BC1. In fact, it may have been several years. So we want to go over information on our current BC1, the 2025 model. Not a lot has changed in the last few years on the BC1 like it has with many of our other roasters, but we have added the MagnaHelic airflow gauge so you can monitor your airflow. What we're going to do is go through the setup on this as well as some features so that you can be prepared to decide whether a BC1 would work good for your small coffee shop or as a sample roaster or for a home roaster. First of all, I want to tell you a little bit about the voltage regulator. All of our roasters are 220 power that can be used throughout the world, but since the United States has 110 power, most of our roasters from the BC8 down to the BC1 come with a voltage converter, a 110 voltage converter. And as you can see on the front, even though it's got a 110 voltage plug on most of these and a USB plug, our focus is going to be on plugging the roaster into the 220 output, because that's what you need, 220 electricity. And of course, if you're using one of these, you're plugging into a typical 110, 120 line. So on the back, you need to make sure that whatever line you're plugged into, which should be a 110, 120, that you mark that on the back. And some of them have a toggle switch that you turn, and some, in this case, this pops out. It's like a plug, and it would plug into the 110. Now, on a note on this, different voltage converters may have different numbers. It may say 115, or it might even say 120. That's all in that same range, and that's what you want to plug into, because you're getting your power from a 110, 120 source, and the converter is converting it to 220. If you were to leave it, a lot of them come set up at 200 or 220. If you were to leave it that way, then it's not converting the power. It would keep the power the same, and that would mean you'd be trying to run your roaster on a 110 line, and a lot of the motors either would work slow or they wouldn't work at all, and probably the solenoid would not open up when you try to start it and so forth. So you got to make sure, if you're using a 110, 120 voltage converter, that you set it up properly. And all that information's in the manual, but we just wanted to go over it with you right there.